Ramesh was a farmer, a man deeply connected to the land he worked on. He lived in a small village nestled between green hills, a place where time seemed to stand still. Every morning the sun would rise over the hills, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, signaling the start of a new day. Ramesh would wake up with the sun, his heart filled with gratitude for the simple life he led, a life that many dream of but few experience. Ramesh's days were filled with the rhythm of nature, a symphony of sounds and sights that guided his every move. He would tend to his crops, singing softly to himself as he worked, his voice blending with the whispers of the wind. He grew rice and wheat and vegetables of all kinds, each plant a testament to his hard work and dedication. In the evenings he would sit on his porch, a warm cup of chai in his hand, and watch the sunset, the sky ablaze with colours. Life was peaceful, a gentle melody played out in the harmony of nature, a song that soothed his soul. Ramesh had always been alone, but he never felt lonely. He had never married, finding solace in the company of his farm animals and the vast open fields, his heart content with the life he had chosen. He would often talk to his cows and goats, sharing his thoughts and dreams as if they understood every word, their silent companionship a source of comfort. The silence of his solitude was never deafening, but a comforting hum that lulled him into a peaceful existence, a life in tune with the natural world around him. One night, a storm raged through the village. The sky was a tumultuous sea of dark clouds, and the air was thick with the scent of rain and earth. The wind howled like a banshee, its eerie wail echoing through the empty streets and bending the trees to its will. The rain lashed against Ramesh's little cottage, each drop a tiny hammer against the wooden walls. As he lay in bed, trying to sleep through the cacophony, he heard a different sound, a faint whimpering lost in the roar of the storm. It was so soft that he almost thought he had imagined it. Ramesh got out of bed and went to the window, curiosity and concern mingling in his heart. The wind whipped at his face as he peered out into the darkness, the cold air biting at his skin. He couldn't see anything, but the whimpering continued. A desperate plea lost in the storm's fury. It tugged at his heartstrings, compelling him to act. Driven by a sense of compassion, Ramesh grabbed his lantern and ventured out into the tempest, determined to find the source of the cry. The rain soaked him to the bone as he searched, his lantern a beacon against the dark fury of the storm. Each step was a struggle against the wind and rain. Finally, he found the source of the sound. His heart raced as he approached the small, shivering figure. Huddled beneath a bush, shivering and wet, was a dog. Its eyes were wide with fear, and it looked up at him with a mix of hope and desperation. It was just a puppy, really, its fur matted and muddy, a gash on its leg. Ramesh knew he couldn't leave it there, not in this storm. He gently scooped up the puppy, cradling it in his arms as he made his way back to the cottage, determined to give it the care it needed. Ramesh gently lifted the puppy and cradled it close. The little creature was trembling, its tiny body shivering from the cold and fear. The little creature whimpered softly, its eyes filled with fear and pain. It was clear that the puppy had been through a lot, and Ramesh's heart ached for it. Ramesh carried it back to his cottage, his heart heavy with pity for the helpless creature. The journey back seemed longer than usual, each step filled with a sense of urgency. He knew he couldn't leave the dog out in the storm. The rain was relentless and the wind howled through the trees, making the situation even more dire. Inside his warm cottage, Ramesh dried the puppy and examined its wound. The gash on its leg was deep, but it didn't seem to be broken. The gash on its leg was deep, but it didn't seem to be broken. He could see the pain in the puppy's eyes, and he knew he had to act quickly. He cleaned the wound carefully and bandaged it with a piece of cloth. His hands moved with a gentle precision, ensuring the puppy felt as little pain as possible. He then placed the puppy on a bed of soft rags near the hearth, hoping the warmth of the fire would offer some comfort. The flickering flames cast a soothing glow in the room. The puppy, exhausted and in pain, whimpered softly for a while before falling asleep. Its tiny body finally relaxed, finding a moment of peace in the warmth. Ramesh watched over it, his heart filled with a protectiveness he had never felt before. He knew that this little creature had found a place in his heart, Ramesh watched over it, his heart filled with a protectiveness he had never felt before. He could see the puppy's chest rising and falling gently, a sign that it was finally at ease. He named the puppy Buddy, a silent promise to be the friend the little creature so desperately needed. From that moment on, Ramesh knew his life had changed forever. As days turned into weeks, Buddy healed. The fear in his eyes faded, replaced by a playful glint. He grew stronger with each passing day, his tail wagging incessantly, his barks filled with joy. Ramesh, who had always been alone, found his heart warming to the playful antics of the dog. Buddy followed Ramesh everywhere. He would wait patiently at the edge of the fields as Ramesh worked, his tail thumping a happy rhythm against the ground. In the evenings they would sit together on the porch, Buddy's head resting on Ramesh's lap as they watched the sunset. The villagers, who were used to seeing Ramesh alone, were surprised to see him with a constant companion. They would often see Ramesh talking to Buddy, sharing his thoughts and feelings. Some might have thought him strange, but Ramesh didn't care. In Buddy he had found a companion, a loyal friend who listened without judgment and offered unconditional love. One night, Ramesh woke to a strange sound. It was a muffled thud, followed by the sound of hushed voices. He sat up in bed, his heart pounding in his chest. Fear, cold and unfamiliar, gripped him. He had heard stories of thieves targeting the village, and the thought sent a chill down his spine. Buddy, who was sleeping at the foot of Ramesh's bed, was also awake. He growled, a low rumble that sent shivers down Ramesh's spine. Ramesh got out of bed and grabbed his lantern. He tiptoed towards the window, Buddy at his heels, his growl turning into a menacing snarl. Peeking through a crack in the curtains, Ramesh saw them, shadowy figures lurking near his barn. They were trying to pry open the lock, their faces hidden in the darkness. Fear threatened to overwhelm Ramesh, but the sight of Buddy standing protectively by his side filled him with a sudden surge of courage. Buddy, sensing the danger, let out a deafening bark and charged towards the barn. The thieves, caught off guard, turned to see the blur of fur and teeth hurtling towards them. Fear lent them wings, and they scrambled away into the darkness, leaving their tools behind. Ramesh rushed out, Buddy by his side, barking triumphantly. The thieves were gone, but the danger had passed. Ramesh knelt and hugged Buddy tightly, his heart overflowing with gratitude. The dog had saved his farm, but more importantly, he had saved him from a terror he hadn't known he possessed. News of the attempted robbery spread through the village like wildfire. The villagers, who had once thought Buddy was just a stray, now looked at him with newfound respect. They praised his courage and loyalty, recognizing that the bond between the farmer and his dog was something special, something born out of kindness and strengthened by love. Life returned to its peaceful rhythm on the farm. Ramesh continued to tend to his crops, Buddy his constant shadow, but their bond had deepened, forged in the fires of danger and solidified by mutual trust. Ramesh realized that in helping Buddy, he had helped himself. He had opened his heart to a creature in need, and in doing so, he had found a companion, a protector, a friend. Buddy, who had been astray, abandoned and alone, had found a home and someone to love unconditionally. The story of Ramesh and Buddy became a legend in the village, a heartwarming tale whispered from one generation to the next. It served as a reminder that kindness, however small, can have a ripple effect, creating bonds stronger than any force, proving that sometimes the greatest rewards in life come from the most unexpected places.